Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be previewing Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. I'm very excited for this year's NBA Finals. It's going to be a very interesting Finals. Look, I think this is the best point guard matchup in the NBA Finals since the 2015-16 season. 2015-16 Finals and 2016-17 Finals when we saw Kyrie Irving go up against Stephen Curry. Look, I don't even know the last time where I could say that there was an NBA Finals where the 2 point guards were the best players on their teams. I mean, last year, the 2 point guards were Luka and Drew Holiday. Luka's obviously the best player on the Mavs, but Drew Holiday is as good of a player as he is. Now, he's not the best player on his team. You can look at the year before that with the Nuggets and the Heat. It was Gabe Vincent and Jamal Murray. Obviously, they're not the best players on their team. And you go to, the year before that as well, Steph versus Marcus Smart. Steph is obviously the best player on his team, but Marcus Smart isn't on the Celtics. Bucks Suns is Drew Holiday, Chris Paul. The Lakers Heat was, I can't even remember who was the point guard for the Heat that year. It was Tyler Hero. I could be wrong, though. I know they didn't have Kyle Lowry yet. But, and the Lakers had Rajon Rondo. And then you go to the 2018-19 Finals was Kyle Lowry versus Stephen Curry. Obviously, Steph's the best player on the Warriors. You could say that, Kyle Lowry's the second best player on that Raptors team, but not the first. And then even, look, George Hill, Stephen Curry was the finals point guard matchup in 2017-18 Finals. And even like I talked about, I said this is the best point guard matchup in the finals since Kyrie-Steph, where we saw those two matchups in 2015-16 Finals and 2016-17 Finals. I'm not going to include the 2014-15 Finals because Kyrie was hurt for a good part of that series. Even that series, Kyrie is still not the best player on his team. That is LeBron. And so, but still, I still think that Kyrie this is still the best point guard matchup since those finals first Kyrie versus Steph and the Cavs Warriors. And I don't even know when was the last time. I wasn't even watching basketball the last time there was a NBA Finals where the two best teams on the respected teams were both point guards, and that's what you're seeing in this series with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the Thunder and Tyrese Haliburton on the Pacers. So, but I'm really excited for this series. I think it's going to be a really good series. Game 1 tonight is 7:30 in Oklahoma City. Starting lineups should be the same for both teams as they were in the previous series. Tyrese Haliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Pascal Siakam, Aaron Nesmith, and Miles Turner for the Pacers. And for the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, J-Dub with Chet and Hartenstein. There are some injuries for the Pacers. They have Jarace Walker, a former Houston Coug, as a Cougars fan, I just had to mention that, is out for Game 1 and Game 2. He suffered an injury in the last game. I don't think you're too worried about that if you're the Pacers. You saw the way Thomas Bryant played in the closeout game for the Pacers. You've got Obi Toppin off the bench. You've got TJ. This Pacers team has a great bench. You shouldn't be worried. Tony Bradley is a game time decision, but I don't think Tony Bradley matters that much because if you're the Pacers, you want Thomas Bryant playing after the game he just recently had. So I know Tony Bradley played more in that conference finals than you saw Thomas Bryant, but I would say that Thomas Bryant earns some playing time in these finals over Bryant after that closeout game that Bryant had. And then that is it. Pacers, Isaiah Jackson is another big man that's out. He's out. He's been out all season, though, towards Achilles, like week 3, week 4 of the season. And that's the Pacers weren't even playing that good then. It was the worst you've seen them this year. And so Thunder, their only injury is Nikola Topic, who was like the 12th overall pick or the 11th overall pick this year in last year's draft. And he's not played one single game this year. So, look, you look two of the injuries, two of the guys that are going to, miss this entire series and miss the entire playoffs, Isaiah Jackson, Nikola Topic for the two teams. You can't look at that as an excuse because neither of them have really affected either one of these teams. Nikola's never played for the Thunder, and Isaiah Jackson hasn't played since the first month of the season, and the Pacers didn't even look good when he was healthy. So, but yeah, I'm going to get into predictions for this game. Look, before I get into my predictions, I'm going to say I have Oklahoma City winning this series in 7 games. One thing I hope for this series is we finally see a 7-game series. We haven't seen it since 2015-16 finals. I have been watching the NBA since 2016-17 season. I have not seen a series that has ended in a 7-game series in the NBA Finals. That is what I hope for. That's what I really hope to see in this series. I'm not a fan of either one of these teams. I like both Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Tyrese Halliburton, and a lot of some of the guys on both teams. So I don't really care who wins the matchup because it's not like I dislike either team or really love either team. But I'll tell you the one thing I really want more than anything is to finally see a 7-game series in the NBA Finals. That is something I have never seen. I didn't really care about basketball, until the 2016-17 season is where I started to care. And like the middle of that season. So, and I've been watching basketball ever since then, and I've never seen that 7-game series in the NBA Finals. It is crazy that it has not happened. The Western Conference Finals Game 7 and the NBA Finals Game 7 are two things that have become very rare in the past years. You have not seen a Western Conference Finals Game 7 since the 2017-18 season when the Rockets played the Warriors in Game 7. That was a heartbreaker for me. And you have not seen an NBA Finals Game 7 since the 2015-16 season. So that is two crazy facts right there. So I hope this series that changes around. So I'm going with OKC to win this series in 7, but I am going with the Pacers winning this Game 1 tonight. In most cases in these playoffs, you've seen in Game 1 of this series, the team that has more rest is the team that gets screwed. You saw it in the second round. All 4 teams in the second round in Game 1 that had more rest lost. The Thunder were one of those teams. They had a bunch of time off playing the Nuggets. The Nuggets didn't have that much time off because they had a 7-game series against the Clippers and they had to play like 2 days later after the Thunder had a week plus a week and over off. They had over a week off. So, and then you saw the Nuggets get off to a great start, and then obviously the Nuggets made a comeback and won that game. The Thunder were rusty to start with that game. I think they had 2 points in the first minute, 2.5 minutes. That's not like them. So, I think that if you look at it this way, you saw that the entire second round of the team that has more rest is at a disadvantage. You saw it in the conference. You kind of saw it in the conference finals. The Pacers were the team that ended this streak actually, because the Timberwolves. You saw the Timberwolves Thunder Game 1. The Timberwolves had more rest than the Thunder. The Thunder won. The Pacers and the Knicks. This is what ended it. The Pacers had more rest than the Knicks. The Knicks actually, the Pacers had a couple more days more rest than the Knicks did, and the Pacers still won. But I'm going with the Pacers. I'm going with the Pacers in Game 1 for this reason. If they come off rusty because they've had more time off, because they've had about 2, 3, maybe 4 days more off than the Pacers have, because their Pacers series ended Saturday. I think the Thunder series ended either Thursday or Wednesday, if I'm correct. I want to say it was Wednesday, but it might have been a Thursday. Might have been Thursday. It was Thursday or Wednesday, and then the Pacers series ended Saturday, and so you've seen that. I'm going with the Pacers because if the Thunder come off rusty, the Pacers are a team that has a lot of great pace. Funny enough, that's their team name. So they have a lot of pace and they move the ball quickly. So if they do that, if they get up to a great start, it'll be hard for OKC to come back. So that's why I'm going with the Pacers tonight, but I still have OKC winning the series in 7 games. Let me know your thoughts on this series in the comment section. Give me your predictions, and peace out.